All right, what's going on? Today I'm going to be breaking down the first day of trading for the 25K Funded Next challenge that I started. I'm doing these videos strictly for accountability purposes and journaling as well. This will give me an opportunity to look back on my mistakes, learn from the bad trades, learn from the good trades, what went well, what went bad. So I'm really just using this as sort of like a vlog to, review and kind of share with the trading space. Let's jump right into yesterday's trades. So today is October 4th, 2025. It is Saturday, and now we are looking at what happened yesterday on October 3rd. So as you can see here, price came into this daily fair value gap after we had been trading upward for what was that? 5 days. So my bias going into Friday was a pullback, the higher time frame bearish or bullish, sorry. But I knew, or I didn't know, I was looking for an opportunity to sell down into here. With the market, we don't predict, we react. So let's jump down to the 15-minute to see where all the magic starts to happen. And I'll kind of break down, how I look at market structure and setup here. So let's go ahead and turn on the markups. So we'll just start with all the markups here and kind of show you, what happened, and then we'll rewind everything and kind of go from there. So let's take us back to prior to New York Open. So prior to New York Open, this is kind of what we had here. We have here the previous day high. We saw that Asia swept the previous day high and failed to move down, so it consolidated and danced in here. Going into London, London also consolidation, and then you had a slight tick up here to go ahead and sweep the London high. So I marked it here coming into the New York that I had a previous day high and a London sweep. So now it is aligning with that bearish bias that I had coming into New York Open. So what I wanted to see was a run up and then a run down to get us to that next level. This purple box here I had marked out was 4-hour support. So if I could see price get beneath that, then we would be looking good for the bearish bias. This point 0.2, point 0.3, and point 0.5, that is the TGIF uh, sweep or reversal back into the weekly range, ICT concept that I was kind of leaning on here to see if, to kind of give me some targets. So as you can see here, like I said, coming into the 930, what I'd like to do is mark out the 930 high and low of that 15-minute candle. So opening range. And then what we were doing, I was waiting for a break in the direction that I was looking to go for. So as you can see here, we caught a break. So on that one, I'm dropping down to the 5-minute. Once we caught that break, uh, and then we got a break beneath the 4-hour support. So it's leaning even more so into the direction I want. We caught a 5-minute fair value gap here. Price started to push back up. This is good. So we tagged this 4-hour support. What it was for me was it was a little premature and early. I should have let price tag here and reject. I did jump in this a little too early, but sometimes you'll get this and sometimes you won't. It's not always 100%. In hindsight, I probably wouldn't have taken this if I would have just waited and been patient on that. So that is something that I did learn was I jumped in this one too early and didn't allow it to come all the way back to 50% of this range. And we did get SMT that formed with ES here. I have that marked as well. So I got tagged in on a stop order here, and then my stop was just above the 5-minute wick, assuming that we were going to continue down to tag the 30% in the AM session. So we came up, and then here I was stopped out, only put on one contract, which was $71 of risk, which was fine. Took the loss. Didn't try to revenge trade and jump in and go the other direction or do anything crazy that I had been doing in recent weeks. Just trying to almost gamble or be aggressive to try to pass these challenges. The good thing I like about FundedNext is there is no time limit, there's no monthly recurring fee, and there's no activation fee. So it is a one-time fee, and you can literally take your time. So that is the motto, that is the mantra that I'm going by. It is a marathon, not a sprint moving forward. So that was the first trade. That was a loss. And then at that point, I'll be honest, I was looking to see if the market was going to tip its hand prior to 11 o'clock, or really noon. So then that way I could, try to be in my trade and out. So once we hit here, I did drop down to the lower time frame to see if I could get confirmation. And I did not get confirmation. As you can see, price continued to push higher. And then that wick closed. I wanted to close beneath that 4 hour support, and I did not get that on the 5 minute. Had I got that here, I would have taken that here if I'd had to close beneath the 4 hour support. I wanted a close before I entertained the idea that we were, in fact, going to go for the previous day low and into that daily fair value gap. So I was letting price kind of do its thing, as you can see here. It's respecting the midpoint of this 5 minute fair value gap. SMT high still intact. And now that 5 minute fair value gap became inverted. So now at this point, it is now noon. So I don't like to touch anything with noon. I like to let the lunchtime kind of show me exactly what it's going to do. We're now trading back inside of the opening range of the 930 candle. So we're going to let price decide which direction it wants to go while I was waiting. So this here was the 1300 candle. So 1300 came. This is your start of your afternoon session. I liked the momentum and the volume that this candle produced. Came down. It gave me what I wanted to see here. It was also a 15-minute candle that closed beneath the previous 4 hour support. So now we come down back to the 5 minute. And my entry was we tagged the 4 hour again, which is what I wanted to see, which is what I this was the move that I was anticipating here. So low risk. Once again, I have my stop order here with my stop just above the swing high of this 5 minute. So we get tagged in immediately. And then I am targeting the previous day low for my first target. And then I had a scale in. If I knew if we broke this on the 5 minute, I wanted to scale in another position into a winner and target down lower into the 4 hour and daily fair value gap. So what do we get? Price started to move. We rejected here, so we created a sort of like a support here back to my entry. So that's why I did not move aggressively to break even. I wanted 1 to 1 before moving to break even, and I think 1 to 1 was here. 1 to 1 was here, so I wasn't even at 1 to 1 to go to break even yet. Once we broke here, now I was comfortable with moving to break even because I don't want to see price coming back up any higher before going and getting the previous day low, right? Where was the closest liquidity? Obviously, this SMT price had already taken liquidity here. And then the noon time had taken this liquidity before starting to fall off a cliff. So at this point, I moved the first TP to break even. And then my second entry happened here. And now at this point, I don't want to see price coming back above this 5 minute support. And there we go to TP. And the reason why I ended up getting stopped out on this was because I trailed aggressively, dropping down to I believe it was the 30 second. All I did was aggressively scale my stop loss. So I wanted to see price rejecting at each fair value gap and creating. I mean, I was as low as the 15. Yeah, I was on the 15-second trailing this aggressively. So we rejected, started to fall, created a fair value gap, kept falling, fair value gap. Came into here, my stop was here, trailing because I was comfortable with the profits and where I was at there. Came into here, rejected again, kept falling. We had another one here. I believe I was here, and then we got stopped out here. So this candle is the candle that stopped us out. So it was respecting it, and then this was the first candle that it did not respect it. So I believe 55 is when I got taken out of that trade. And that was it. That was the trade. Those were the two trades. You see we have them marked here, scaled, and then entry number two and entry number one. So that was it. That was all that we did with that. We can also see here on the. We can also see here that I yesterday's trades with the first loss of 71 and then the wins of 259. So we did 939.39 on the day, and we just got a profit target of 1250. After you get to your profit target, then you start at zero. You do not need to build a buffer with FundedNext, which is another thing that I like here. We can see all of the accounts. And I'll create a separate video going over FundedNext, all the rules and everything. If you want to register or start with an account, the referral code will be in the description. But like I said, I like them. I used them back when I was doing Forex, and then I had switched over to futures. So this is the company that I'm going to try with. I do see that they are paying out in the Discord. So yeah, give them a shout or check them out. Trading is risky, so trade at your own risk, but do your own due diligence with them. But as you can see here, we had a 45.5% win rate. Average win was 85, and that was day one for the 25K traded challenge. And I'll be back for next week, and we jump back on the charts.